Hello and welcome to the Renaissance era. This was from about the year 1450 to 1600, and the word Renaissance means rebirth, and this marked a revival in the arts and sciences from the darkness of the medieval era to the age of discovery. Visual art at this time became more mathematical and more proportioned and just looked more lifelike. Two of the most famous examples are the Mona Lisa and the Sistine Chapel, both of which were painted in this era. While people like Leonardo da Vinci, the artist and inventor, heavily influenced the world of visual art, another art form was appearing on the scene, headed by a man named William Shakespeare, and that is the theater, which is one of my personal favorite forms of art. There was also a lot of scientific discoveries in this era by people such as Galileo, whose name I forgot to write down. My apologies. One of the exciting inventions of this era was the Gutenberg printing press, which allowed books to be printed instead of copied down by hand. This era also saw the Protestant Reformation occurring in response to the Catholic Church, as well as the exploration and colonization of new lands. The lute was still a very popular instrument in the Renaissance. Its popularity had continued from the medieval era. There was also an instrument that I forgot to draw called the schwam. It's the predecessor of the double reeds, such as the oboe. Bowed string instruments such as the viol were also very popular in this era and continued to develop into what we have now. Woodwinds such as flutes and recorders were very popular. Percussion was largely unchanged from the medieval era, and the Renaissance saw the development of new brass instruments such as the sackbut, which I always feel like I should mention because its name is hilarious. It's the predecessor of the trombone. Consort is the name that we use for the group of instruments playing. It can be either a whole consort, which is the same instrument families are playing together in a group, or a broken consort, where instruments of different families play together, much like the modern orchestra. There were a few forms of music that were really popular during the Renaissance era. The first form is the motet. This was a polyphonic type of music that was short, it was sacral, and it was vocal. So there were no instruments, just voices. The second type is madrigal, and not madrigal, not talking about Encanto here, but madrigal. It was very similar to the motet. It was short and choral, but it was secular instead of sacred. The third type that we will talk about today is the Mass, which was also popular in the Renaissance. This was vocal, it was sacred, it was in Latin, and it was very long. There were 5 specific parts, but we'll go into that in another video. I forgot to add a clip in my video that was long enough for me to say thank you for watching, but thank you for watching and I'll see you next time. A whole corn sort. Got corn on the brain.